And we'll be meeting the man who is so radioactive he lives in the hospital's very own nuclear bunker.
Alan, it's over to you. How are you doing this morning?
Yeah, I'm always fine, you know that. What an amazing story. Now then, when Juan Carver became ill with a cold, he had no idea what was to come. Very soon afterwards, a lump started growing on his neck. It turned out to be a malignant tumour on his thyroid gland. It had to be removed. But now doctors are worried that some of the tumour might still be there, and to treat it, he may have to live in the hospital's nuclear bunker.
The nurse is preparing to inject Juan's bloodstream with a tiny dose of highly radioactive iodine 131. The unstable iodine is housed in a special protective metallic syringe.
This is the radioactive injection, so this is just going to let us have a look at your thyroid.
The radioactive iodine is naturally attracted to the hormones that the thyroid produces. So if any potentially cancerous debris has been left behind, the iodine will seek it out and highlight it on a special nuclear scan.
The surgeons remove the whole thyroid gland, but tiny little bits get left behind after the operation, and we can see those on the scan, so we can check exactly where the radioiodine's gone to.
An hour later, the results are ready. The news is not good.
Mr. Carver, do you want to come on in? Sorry about that. Okay, I'll just show you what... Do sit yourself down. There you go. I'll just show you what this the pictures that you just had taken show. This is your head, and this is the thyroid area. And on this close-up is this area here, which is the small fragment of thyroid tissue that's left behind after the surgery, and that's what the radioiodine is going to be destroying.
Unfortunately, some minute sections of Juan's diseased thyroid have been left behind.
So we'll get you up to the ward now, and then you can have some lunch and have the iodine treatment. Is that all right?
That's fine.
But it's a very small fragment, so we should be able to get rid of that very easily with the iodine treatment. Okay?
To destroy the cancer, Juan urgently needs a much larger dose of the radioactive iodine 131.
Right, Mr. Carver, you'd like to come and go to the unit. This is where you're going to be for the next couple of days.
This radioactive iodine will go to any tiny remnants of thyroid tissue that are left behind, and also any tiny fragments of thyroid cancer that are left behind, and it will destroy them.
Your room's down the end here.
Juan's now led off to a self-contained nuclear isolation unit deep inside Guy's Hospital.
He stays in this ward for 2 nights, 3 days, just while the radioactivity levels fall. Most of the radioactivity actually passes out in his urine, but the little bit of tissue in the neck will take up the radioiodine and be destroyed.
Every item that Juan comes in contact with will be contaminated.
Because of the waste products that we have to look after because of the radioactivity, if we could use the bin system here for empty bottles here, unwanted food here, and newspapers and things there, that would be great.
Yeah,
so it's easier for us to dispose of that waste. And then we just got your own bathroom through the corridor.
It's nearly time for Juan to take his radioactive capsule, so Maria, his wife, reluctantly has to say goodbye.
Look after yourself.
We're not protecting Mr. Carver, we're actually protecting members of the public and Mr. Carver's family members. And that's because this radioactivity will send rays out of his body that could affect other people if they stayed too close for too long.
It's fine. It's fine. Okay.
And we count the radioactivity levels each day, and then when his radioactivity levels have fallen to safe limits for the public, then he can go home.
Juan's dose of radiation is not administered by a doctor, but by nuclear physicist Richard Fernandez.
So what we have to do is to get the tablet into you without handling it, and this is where this comes in. This end will screw into the tablet. The tablet will be sitting at the bottom of this container, and all you have to do is lift it up, and the tablet will just slide down into your mouth, and then you have a gulp of water. So I'll just go and stand behind this shielding now.
Juan is all too aware that he's just about to irradiate his own body.
And if you pop that into your lips, that's it, and just tip it up and have a gulp of water just to swallow it down.
He's now so radioactive, it's time for everyone, including our cameraman, to leave. He's facing 3 days in total radioactive isolation.
Well, later we'll see that because Juan is still radioactive, when he returns home to his wife, it brings a whole new meaning to the term upstairs, downstairs.
I'll leave it over to you.
Thank you very much, Nadia. She's not flirting with me this morning. I must have done something wrong, eh? I'm here in the fracture clinic with the glamorous Jill. Jill, say good morning.
Good morning.
Now, I saw this in the paper. They say that NHS computers aren't working properly.
Well, at the moment mine's working fine, but that don't mean a thing.
At the moment, she's touching wood like mad.
By 12 o'clock the way this morning's going.
Oh, actually, just have a look at that coffee mug. Show that coffee mug. Have you ever seen such a large coffee mug? It's the only thing that gets us through the day, apparently.
It's still half full.
Or half empty. Who knows?
Empty, yeah.
Akeem here's signing in. What's the problem, Akeem?
Me and my friend was playing right and I was running, so this is what happened. We was like playing and I ran and I dropped around and a bottle was on the floor, but I never realised, and it cut open the back of my leg and it cut the tendon, and I thought it was something that would heal itself, so I never really wanted to go to a hospital. But their mum, my god sister's mum, rang the hospital and the ambulance came.
How did you feel when you saw the injury?
Well, I was a bit shocked.
Oh, they've just called you. Come on, tell us the story as you came around.
Okay, I was a bit shocked.
Yeah.
Because it was a big cut, so I was really shocked when I saw it.
Sorry.
I tell you what, you go at a pace, don't you? Sorry, carry on, Mum.
I've worked it out like you started, yeah.
I had to leave
Come on,
because I'm a bit
what's up on the
frightened of
couch?
blood.
Oh, right.
So I had to leave. I don't like blood.
Right, come round here. Now, Mr. Bliss, tell us what's going to happen today, then.
Well, what we're going to do is, what he's done is he's cut his tendon at the back of the leg, so he stitched it up, and then what we do is put him in a plaster. Now that lets the soft tissues heal. We don't just use plaster for healing bones, we also let the soft tissues heal. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the plaster, they're going to have a look at the wound, if it's okay, put him back into a plaster, and then we're going to keep him that until things are healed up about another 2 to 3 weeks. What we might do is put his foot flat, depending on what the wounds look like today, so he can put a little bit of weight through it over the next few weeks.
Right, OK, and how do you get the plaster off?
Sally there has a marvellous little device which saws it off. Now,
Sounds painful.
Not really, because it vibrates side to side rather than rotating. And I
look at Akeem's face as a picture.
I've broken my leg twice. I've had this done to me twice. It doesn't hurt, I promise you.
Trust him, he's a doctor.
Exactly right. And if it does, you can chin me square. Does that sound fair? All right? All right, doesn't hurt at all.
I tell you what, we'll leave you to it. I don't think we need to see this. It's far too noisy. Good luck to you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Wow.
Get out the way, will you, Dan? He's always trying to hog my shot, I tell you. Now then, when 21-year-old Richard went to protect his girlfriend's sister from a gang of youths in the street, what he didn't know was that they were armed with a samurai sword.
Alan, it's over to you.
Thanks so much. I can't believe I've just tripped over someone's crutches in the fracture clinic. What not to do, I tell you. We've actually got an injured member of staff here. As you can see, it's really, really busy. Let's go and talk to Jane. Hello, Trouble.
Hello.
And she really is Trouble, this one. Radiographer.
Yeah, well done. Nearly.
What have you done?
Oh, I fell on the floor.
You fell on the floor?
Yeah.
You're the only one without a cast in you. Is it really damaged or not?
No, it's just really bruised and swollen, and I've got to have some physio, but it's all right.
When did this happen?
At work.
It happened at work?
Yeah.
So do you get kind of preferential treatment because you work here? Go on, tell us the truth.
I just wait as long as everybody else.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, honestly.
But apparently they had a right laugh when they had to x-ray you.
Yeah, my colleagues, Kat Lawson, they were laughing quite a lot when they had to take me in for x-rays.
You say you're bruised. Are you going to show your bruises?
No, because I told you I wouldn't show you my leg.
She won't show me her leg. Well, actually, what she said was, if she showed her bruises, would I dance with her? And I said, I would dance with her, you know, because I am that professional dancer.
But clearly I'm injured, so I can't tango with you. But you could swing the snowman, couldn't you?
Why am I going to put up with this sort of behaviour? How long do you reckon you'll be off work then?
A couple more days, I think, then I'll be able to get back to work. Because I'm quite bored, so I want to get back to work.
Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, listen, thanks so much for talking to us.
That's all right.
Good luck when you get back to work. And when you are better, we may have a dance, OK?
Better ask my boyfriend about that.
There you go. You heard it here first.